The thing that I liked most about Michael Jordan as a player was the fact that I didn't have to try to guard him. If you had a poor defensive scheme, he was going to fill the hoop up until you either figured it out or the game was over and you lost the game. Some of his acrobatic drives to the hoop are just remarkable. You know, he can get past the defense and use a little bit of English off of the glass. The ball drops in so nice. It takes some really advanced skills to do that consistently. The 1988 All-Star Game was a showcase for Michael. Michael had figured out all the things he needed to know to be a dominant player. Everything. One-on-one, couldn't guard him. What Michael Jordan showed the whole sports world was the fact that you put the right people with him, he's going to lead them to world championships, without question. He was a prime example of excellence and a leader that would lead you all the way to the top, all the way to the top. That was basketball at its finest.
Crosstown traffic and the Green Line whizzing by overhead on this calm winter night in Chicago. But not for long. Now let's go over to tonight's public address announcer, Tommy Edwards.
Welcome, fans, to the All-Star Game. Get up and get loud for your West All-Stars. At forward, making his 7th All-Star appearance, the standout veteran of the Denver Nuggets, 6'7", Alex English. Making his All-Star debut, the front court star of the Utah Jazz, the mailman, 6'9", Karl Malone. The man in the middle, an All-Star, each of his 4 pro seasons from the Houston Rockets, 7 feet, Akeem Olajuwon. At guard, making his first All-Star appearance, the virtual star of the Denver Nuggets, 6'3", Lafayette Pat Lever. And the NBA leader in assists in his 8th All-Star game from the Los Angeles Lakers, 6'9", Irvin Magic Johnson. The head coach of the West All-Stars is Brad Nelson. Let's hear it for your West All-Stars. And now, the starting lineup for the Eastern Conference. At forward, a 3-time most valuable player, an All-Star each of his 9 seasons from the Boston Celtics, 6'9", Larry Bird. He's one of the NBA's most exciting players in his 3rd All-Star game from the Atlanta Hawks, 6'8", Dominique Wilkins. The man in the middle, an All-Star for the 10th time. One of the game's most rugged rebounders from the Washington Bullets, 6'10", Moses Malone. At guard, the most valuable player of the 1984 and 1986 All-Star Games. This Chicagoan is making his 7th All-Star appearance from the Detroit Pistons, 6'1", Isaiah Thomas. And finally, the NBA leader in scoring and steals, an All-Star each of his 4 seasons, the charismatic star of the Chicago Bulls, 6'6", Michael Jordan. The head coach of the East All-Stars is Mike Fratello.
Welcome, everyone, to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. On my side, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter tonight, David Aldridge. I'm Kevin Harlan. And Clark, this is the second time Chicago has hosted this mid-season classic.
Yeah, you go back to 1973, that's when they hosted their first one. The East won it 104 to 84 back then. That was the lowest combined score in an All-Star game, Kevin, since the 1950s.
We'll see if then tonight, Clark, they can surpass that total.
I would think they could. No shortage of scores on either side. I expect an up-tempo, fast-paced game, an exciting game with plenty of highlights and buckets.
Cannot wait. And your West All-Stars, Fat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards. Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots. And in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside and Dominique Wilkins with Larry Bird, the forwards. And in the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
And it's the West All-Stars to start out. Pass to Malone. Wants to get it to Olajuwon, and does. Johnson, the pass to Olajuwon. The vision of Magic Johnson is unsurpassed. And Clark, when you look at Hakeem Olajuwon's Houston Rockets, here is a team making a lot of moves.
Tell you what, their trade for Joe Barry Carroll and Sleepy Floyd paying huge dividends. They're certainly on the rise in my mind.
Yeah, a lot of people like those moves. Here's English. And that's collected by Malone. Clark, you see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those two.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. And Michael Jordan winning the dunk contest yesterday, Clark. Can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun to watch. Now, Lever, following the three-point attempt by Michael Jordan. Johnson, a wide-open look. Here's Olajuwon. The grace of Hakeem Olajuwon. Something special to see. And if there was a snub, Clark, for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
Yep, the Tennessee Volunteers should be here. And the Eastern All-Stars favored to win tonight.
Star power and firepower. Veteran IQ and smarts. But you never know. The West has quite a bit of talent, too.
Indeed they do. And an exhibition game with plenty of motivation for these stars. Nonetheless, for more, let's say hello to David Aldridge.
Thanks very much. Now, I was talking to Larry Bird about his goals for the matchup, and he said, I think our job is to get the ball to Michael Jordan, get him into the game, and get the crowd into the game. So if Bird has anything to do with it, Michael Jordan will be the MVP. And that would be poetic justice this weekend. Guys, back to you.
Especially where we are. Well said, David. Thank you. Jordan Clark, obviously, in front of his hometown crowd. He loves it, and they really love it.
No doubt about it, Kevin. You think about the fans in Chicago. They love basketball. And I can expect, and you can too, a ton of energy, some extra adrenaline anytime Michael touches the ball.
Clark, this city is on fire with Jordan, aren't they? I mean, they love him, and they think about what's to come. My goodness.
Smoking.
Yeah, there's got to be some excitement, maybe even, Clark, some butterflies playing in the All-Star game. You want to prove you belong out there.
I agree with that, and there can also be the temptation to try to do a little too much, maybe get flashy, but with these players still getting a feel for each other in the flow, a lot to be said for making the simple play.
Nevertheless, a great honor. Catching up on the changes for the East. Ewing comes in for Malone. And it's Rivers in for Thomas. To the middle. Can they get it? Not going to go that time. Good D by Jordan. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the most All-Star appearances by far in NBA history. Clark, an All-Star in every season of his career except one. And in that year, he was injured.
Yeah, and at 40 years of age, matter of fact, the youngest player tonight was only 4 years old when Kareem made his first All-Star appearance. That player, Brad Daugherty.
No kidding.
That's right.
And Kareem looking to set the career record for All-Star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points to do it, Kevin, and you got to love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
Yeah, a good one. That was the 2K drive, as that move deserved another look. Shot by Johnson, no good. And so Bird will bring it up for the East All-Stars. 7-point differential. It's good. Wilkins has got his second bucket of the night.
And Dominique Wilkins is the go-to scorer for the Hawks. No question about that. And he's embraced that leadership role as well. Obviously a huge part of the Hawks' success.
Now here's Malone. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Offensive rebound. The East leading by 9. Outside Jordan. Trying to get open is Johnson. Rivers tipped back in for 2.
A native Chicagoan, Glenn Doc Rivers, a first-time All-Star. He said 5 years ago he sat in the same hotel and cried because he wasn't drafted in the first round. Now, same setting, but the script has been flipped. It all comes full circle for Doc.
And so it's the East All-Star holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. Their defense has been terrific in this game. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win and the MVP hardware.
And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello. His first time coaching in the All-Star game.
The shot's good. And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right. Wow. Doherty is out there with Ewing, and it's Michael Jordan, and it's Rivers, and it's Wilkins, and at the 3, the small forward. So that's who the East All-Stars start the second with. How about that? Mike's a terrific friend of yours and mine, and Fratello's Hawks recently moved into first place in the East after the Cavs beat the Celtics. Clark enabling him to become the coach of the East All-Stars.
So don't be surprised if the Cavs' Brad Daugherty gets extended minutes in his first All-Star appearance. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
You look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin, and you know they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them.
Catching up on the changes for the East. McHale's checked in for Ewing. And Isaiah Thomas is subbed in for Doc Rivers.
Jordan's got a lot of flash to his game. A terrific guard, loves getting tricky with his ball handling and creating shots for himself.
Now here's Lever. No points in the game yet for him. And it's Olajuwon missing.
Well, you know, stopping him is never easy to do, but the defense was strong there.
A nice shot by Jordan. And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
Lever kicks to Johnson. Lever trying to break free. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way.
Magic Johnson leads the league in assists, and he's also got the most assists in All-Star game history. He processes the game at another level, folks. And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach.
Olajuwon with a screen on Thomas. Lever. East grabs the miss.
Really good anticipation. Got a hand in the face right there.
Here's Jordan. The East All-Stars tack on 2 more. Larkin, amidst this All-Star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon.
And Clark, not easy for these coaches to put their stamp on the game. Only a 1-hour practice yesterday to get acquainted and move through some sets.
And you know, Kevin, it's not about necessarily practice time. A few offensive sets is all that's needed. I think it's how you manage the players and give them a platform to have fun and do what they do.
That's a good point. And now let's go over to David Aldridge with a report on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you, Kevin. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the oldest All-Star in history. This is his 17th game. No one else has been in more than 13. To put that into context, there were 6 players in yesterday's Legends game that were younger than Kareem. Magic Johnson says he respects Kareem more than anyone I know because of the pride this man has in whatever he does. Kevin, back to you.
He is a very proud individual. David, thank you. And Kareem's coming out here, Clark, after spending 2 days in bed with strep throat. I mean, it's remarkable.
And, Kevin, that's exactly the pride Magic was talking about. And that's why it seems like every game we do, Kareem is adding to some type of record that he's already established. Tonight, he could very well become the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Isn't that phenomenal? They call him captain for a reason. He is truly the leader of this entire NBA.
Yes, sir.
Catching up on the changes for the East. Malone's checked in for Thomas. Bird comes in for Dominique Wilkins. And Danny Ainge has subbed in for Michael Jordan. Count that one.
How about this list? Players who have never missed an All-Star game in their careers. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last 3 playing here tonight.
Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
And, you know, before every game, Karl Malone calls his mother back in Summerfield, Louisiana, to ask what numbers he should shoot for. Tonight, she said go for 25 and 11.
And the East All-Stars decide to take their first time out here. Isaiah Thomas checked in for the East. Jordan comes in for Ainge. And it's Thomas with the ball. He brings it up for the East All-Stars. Jordan with the bucket. And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
Here is Aguirre. Following the basket by Michael Jordan. 6 on the shot clock. Good chance here for Johnson. Hits the jumper in space. Johnson's got 8 points. And Magic Johnson, Clark, made it clear coming into this game that he wanted the challenge of defending the great Michael Jordan.
He certainly did. And the West as a team will certainly have their work cut out for him trying to slow that guy down.
That is going to be fun to watch.
Not a bad idea to pump the brakes a little bit and slow it down right here.
And the shot is good from Johnson.
Magic Johnson in his 8th All-Star game now. 2nd in All-Star votes this year. And he hosts his own All-Star game in the summer in L.A. as a fundraiser. And I understand it's quite an event.
Johnson, the pass to Malone. Another spoon-fed basket for Magic.
And the 6'9" forward, Karl Malone out of Louisiana Tech, playing for the Utah Jazz. Tonight, he's wearing number 7 to honor the great Pete Maravich. who himself was a 3-time All-Star with the New Orleans Jazz.
And so it's Michael Jordan making things happen for the East. What an amazing quarter. There was absolutely no stopping him. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th. The East leading by 21.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones.
On the floor for the West All-Stars, we've got Johnson. Malone is out there with Olajuwon. Then it's Lever, and it's English in at the 3 spot. And they double up Jordan. It's stolen by Lever. One-on-one fast break. And it goes down 2 points. Lever's got his first 2 points.
And Fat Lever, snubbed a year ago, now a first-time All-Star, well-deserved. He leads the league in triple-doubles, one of the original stat sheet stuffers, averaging 9 rebounds a game as well. Best by a mile for NBA guards.
And of the players in tonight's All-Star game, Clark, 2 have won MVP trophies in this game before. Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas.
And how about this, Kevin? Thomas has won 2 out of the last 4 years. If he was to get 3 MVPs, that would put him in some rarefied air, tying with Oscar Robertson for second most. Bob Pettit is the only player to do it 4 times.
And Clark, a slow start, but Michael Jordan is beginning now to get some momentum and heating up.
And the fans starting to take notice. They're feeling it a little bit, making some noise. They're certainly hoping he can make it happen. Hey, it's inexcusable not putting a body on the king. I mean, you deserve to get cooked when you don't do that.
A nice shot by Jordan.
I like that they're putting in the work, trying to build this lead out.
The West trails by 21. Here's Johnson. Michael Jordan grabs the miss. Jordan's got his 7th rebound here tonight. And the East with the lead.
Living up to that favored and top billing and giving these fans quite a show.
Johnson surveying the floor. The pass to Lever. Here's Olajuwon. And misses it off the right side of the rim. The East leading by 23. Wilkins finds Jordan. Good, and the nice assist from Wilkins. Wilkins has got his 4th assist in this one. Johnson outside. Pass to Lever. Wants to get it to Olajuwon, and does. Shoots over Malone. The West again cannot hit. And they've been moving the ball, Clark, really well tonight.
Good things come to those who take good shots.
And Jordan Clark within reach of the record.
He's almost there. Keep that pedal to the metal is what I say.
So the timeout taken here, the first for the West All-Stars. And some changes here for the East. Ewing's checked in for Malone. Ainge comes in for Dominique Wilkins. And it's Rivers in for Thomas. Donaldson, he's checked in for the West. Worthy comes in for English.
Well, you will not see that from him very often, especially right at the rim.
Here's Rivers. The East All-Stars check on 2 more.
Their offense has really stood out. They're piling up the points and torching this defense.
2 minutes remaining.
Now, here's Johnson.
2 minutes.
10 points for him. Pass to Donaldson. They need this. And the layup is up and in. And in his 8th season in the NBA, James Donaldson making Clark his first All-Star appearance.
And you know, Kevin, before his NBA career, he actually played his first professional season in Italy. So he's taken the path less traveled for sure.
He said, "Arrivederci" to Italy to come to the NBA.
Yes, he did. And you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time.
Worthy finds Lever. From 13, and he hits the jump shot. Johnson's got 12 in the game.
Magic so adept at taking what the defense gives him. Nice shot.
And Ainge gets it to go on the assist by Rivers. And you think about adjusting, Clark, how about the all-star reserves? Guys that start normally are the stars of their team, now off the bench on a team of stars.
Kevin, excellent point. For players who are used to starting the game, probably a rare experience coming in off the bench and trying to get it going. But I think these guys so enjoyed being part of this. That sacrifice is not much at all.
You're exactly right. Here's Lever, following the basket by Larry Bird. Donaldson the pass to Johnson. Rebound by the East All-Stars. Jordan's got 8 rebounds in this game. The kick out to Ainge. 7-second difference, shot in game clock. The sharpshooter, Danny Ainge, lacing it from long range.
And Danny Ainge making his all-star debut in year 7, having the best season of his career. He went from a singles hitter in pro baseball to a long-distance laser in the NBA.
Michael Jordan now with 42 points, Clark. He has tied the record for scoring in an all-star game.
A piece of history. Boy, is he special.
Johnson outside. Here's Malone. And the rejection by Bird. And so it's the East All-Stars with a 34-point advantage heading into the break. From the field, they have been outstanding. Amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. Back right after this. Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate the NBA. Here's McDaniel.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined.
And it's a new single-game record in scoring for the All-Star Game, set right in front of us by Michael Jordan.
What an incredible athlete, Kevin, and it seems whatever he sets his mind to do, he can do it. Impressive.
Team foul.
Donaldson the pass to McDaniel. Here's Drexler. Solid shot from the distance of about 14 feet. Drexler's got his first basket of the night. Well, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are graped up pretty good.
Down the stretch here, the East, Clark, out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Woo, it sure has been.
This is the 4th All-Star game for the Celtics' Kevin McHale. Kids at home who want to learn how to score in the post, just put the isolated camera on Kevin McHale, please. Moves on top of moves in the paint. And at 26 points per game, Drexler ranks 7th in the league in scoring. His Blazers playing catch-up with the Lakers, though. Their improved defense has helped them overcome some early injuries.
Drexler against Cheeks. Another shot. Drexler kicks to Abdul-Jabbar. That shot misses. So the East All-Stars will take it the other way.
And Commissioner David Stern in the house tonight. Since taking over 4 years ago, he's done a remarkable job helping guide this league to new unprecedented heights.
Exactly. Now the West with the ball. Pulls up on the wing. And the rebound goes to McHale. Here's Jordan. That's good, and it's Doherty with the assist. Jordan's got 50 points. One thing the league has done since Commissioner Stern has taken over, Clark, is really marketing the league around its stars. And I like that type of strategy.
I agree with you, Kevin, wholeheartedly. And what better time to highlight those great stars than tonight? Amazing talent, compelling personalities. The league is certainly on a great trajectory.
It absolutely is. And Kareem will need to get it going, Clark, to reach double digits.
I think his teammates have to do a better job of getting him touches. Just keep feeding him. He's more than capable of getting there.
East foul. Danny.
The East making a switch. Malone's checked in. The West All-Stars also with the sub. English is checked in.
On the court.
Here's English.
And now they're just one foul away from being in the bonus.
Chiefs. First personal foul. Third team foul.
Abdul-Jabbar finds English. Here is Aguirre. Clock at 6. The West All-Stars need to get a shot off here. Shots good by Drexler. And if there's a rival for the size and athleticism of Michael Jordan, Clark, it might just be Clyde Drexler.
I don't think there's any question about it, Kevin. The Phi Slamma Jamma alum can take flight with the very best of them.
Yep, great athletes. Drexler dishes to Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem, the elder statesman. 19 years in the NBA. Decades of dominance.
Well, the challenge Mikal poses for defenses is all the moves he has. Slippery, and he just seems to make guys foul.
And the first one drops. And some changes here for the West All-Stars. Donaldson, he's checked in for Abdul-Jabbar. Worthy comes in for McDaniel. And it's Johnson in for Aguirre. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Hey, Clyde!
On the wing, Johnson. No one near him. Again, the West All-Stars.
Whatever the defense gives, that's what he takes. A sign of a skilled offensive player.
And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A three-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
Physical contact, no problem. Mikal says bring it on. He'll just power through it.
We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Johnson, the pass to Donaldson. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Well, the poise that Worthy brings to his game, I mean, it's impressive. He keeps his cool even in tough situations, and he always seems to allow the game to come to him.
Patrick Ewing's checked in for Mikal. And here's Malone. He'll bring it up for the East All-Stars. 2 points. That one goes. Jordan's got 52 points.
Another big night for Jordan. What a natural scorer he is. MJ simply can do it all.
Here's Johnson. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. It's going to be on Michael Jordan. And that one falls for Johnson. Aguirre's checked in for English. And both free throws good for Johnson.
Well, pretty much the perfect point guard, if there is such a thing. Magic has incredible passing skills, great size, unbelievable vision, plus leadership qualities that make him CEO-like.
Both free throws good from Ewing. And here is Johnson. Out to the right wing. To the paint. And Donaldson gets it to go. And the 7-2 center from the Mavericks, James Donaldson.
You know, I think he's the only lefty in this game. Larry Bird and Danny Ainge right left-handed, but they shoot it with their right hand.
You and I have talked about this before, but defending a lefty is different than defending clearly a right-handed shooter.
Throws you off just a little bit, Kevin.
And Drexler throws it down.
And enjoying his finest pro season, Clyde the Glide Drexler making his second All-Star appearance. Worked over the summer with Kiki Vandeweghe to substantially improve his jump shot. And this run has helped seal the win.
Here's Drexler. The shot and game clock separated by 4. "17 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and that one is good."
And it's got to be frustrating that they're finally starting to play like this, being this one is basically done.
And it's Malone finishing it off.
Moses Malone is not only a 6-time rebounding champ, but he's also a 10-time All-Star. He gives the Washington Bullets some real muscle inside.
And the Eastern All-Stars delivered. The favorites coming in, but they did not disappoint.
Yeah, you looked at that team on paper and you saw they were the stronger team and should have been favored, but you still got to go out and prove it, and they did exactly that.
And so much scoring in that lineup for the East. My goodness, look at those names. That's always going to be tough to stop.
And you factor in the raucous crowd cheering on Michael Jordan, Kevin. No wonder they found that extra gear they needed when it was time to get it done.
That's a good point. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you later.